Hey guys, in this video I'm going to take you through how you can get trials in Europe. I'm going to show you how I got mine in 2018 that eventually led to me signing. I'm going to show you the emails, the back and forth, and the whole process. Before we get into it, this is definitely not the best way to get a trial in Europe. This is just one of the ways. Having a reliable agent or connection will make this whole process more effective and easier. But if you don't have any connections, if you don't have anything, this method is still a way to make something happen, but it's also very difficult. It takes a lot of effort and most of the time you'll get rejected, but if you keep going, you'll have a chance of getting something positive. That's what happened with me, and I'll share that with you now. So I'll start with a little bit of context before we get into the actual process. In 2017, I was playing with Carleton University, one of the better soccer programs here in Canada, and after training extremely hard in off-season, doing well in preseason, I got released from the team. So that time from there was extremely difficult. That's another story, but point being, that door closed and I didn't have anything. I knew I wanted to push for that next level, but I didn't have anything, no connections, no opportunities. So I needed to build my own door. And that's what I did. In the next couple of months, I would send so many emails to so many different clubs in hopes of getting a trial. And finally, after getting ignored or rejected most of the time, I got one positive response back from a third division team in Austria, and this is how it went. So this here is the same exact email template that I sent out in 2018. I've since changed it up and made it better, but one common theme is when you're writing up your messages, you want to make yourself seem as high level as possible. So at the time I was playing in League One Ontario, which is considered a semi-pro league here in Canada, but the reality is no one in Europe knows what that league is. So instead I said currently playing in Canada League One football. I still had League One in there, but the way I phrased it, it sounds a lot more high level. When you send out these messages, it's all about how you market yourself. Regardless of whatever experience you have, you should always try and boost it. You should try and make it sound as great as possible. With this email here, there's two things that come to my mind that would improve it. The first is in the second sentence, I said, I'm looking for a new club and your club has interested me for a long time. That line is all about me. Instead, you should make it about them. So I would probably say something along the lines of, my contract here is coming to an end. I'm looking to take my career to Europe and I believe I can be a great asset or benefit to your team for the upcoming season. That way it's about them and you're coming from a place of value. Also, instead of saying, let me know if the club is interested in me, I would instead ask a question, and it would be something like, what's the current roster situation like? When you say, let me know if the club is interested in me, that can turn into an easy no. But when you ask him an open-ended question about his team, that may get him quickly thinking about his team situation and how he could potentially benefit from you. So it just gets him thinking a little bit more, and if he does end up replying, you have something to work off of based on what his answer was to that question. Final tip is keep it short and simple, but to the point, and also don't copy this, get creative with things and find a way to be unique when you're sending out these emails. Also, you can't see it here, but I had my CV and highlight video included in the email, so make sure you do that as well. This here was his reply. He liked what he saw. He asked me when I'll be in the country and he hinted at a possible trial. This was my reply back to him. I said, my contract here in Canada will end in 2 months. I didn't really have a contract. I was actually in the middle of a university semester and the exams were in 2 months. I couldn't leave the city before I was done those exams. So at the time I thought this was a good response to stall and create some time before I could actually fly to the country. After that, we went back and forth a couple times and then moved the conversation to WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, we stayed in touch, we scheduled the trial, and when I arrived, everything went great. The plan was to sign for the upcoming season, but the deal fell through during the summer because of sponsors, but it was okay though because I eventually ended up signing with another team after doing a couple of other trials. Bernard, who was the coach at the time, doesn't work for the club anymore, and I actually wouldn't recommend reaching out to this team if you're a foreigner because they're located in a small town and they don't have great financial capacity, so it's hard if you're coming from a different country. I'd recommend reaching out to teams in bigger cities who have greater finances because those teams tend to take on more foreign players. So that whole process you can do yourself too. Just keep in mind it's a lot of hard work and there's no guarantee that something positive will come from it. If you do want to try it, here are a couple things you should think about. First off, make sure you have a good CV and highlight video because when coaches open up your email, they need to see something they're impressed by. They need to see it, so you have to have something visual. If you don't have that, they're likely going to ignore your email. So make sure you have those two components. Once you have your CV, highlight video, and you made an email template that you want to send out, next up, you need to do your research. research the different countries, how their league system works, the different teams that are available, what locations they're in. And then the hardest part is actually finding the contact information. What you'll find is the higher up divisions you go, the harder it is to find contact information, whether it be a phone number or an email. And that's because those higher up teams tend to have specific scouts and agents that look out for players. So if you still want to try and reach out to those teams, what you can do is use their general email as a gateway to try and find someone specific in the club. Try and find your inside man that can get you something. I've done that before and it's worked. In terms of middle to lower division teams, what you'll notice is depending on the team, they may have their coach's contact information or someone that you can reach out to more directly. So the lower, the easier it is to contact the team. Once you have that contact information, you can then send your email to those different contacts with your CV highlight video and your email template. Keep finding contacts. The more people you email, the greater chance you have of hearing something back. Again, expect response rate to be pretty low, but remember, all you need is one yes, and that can be the start to something big. This method is meant for middle to lower division teams. It's something that can kickstart your career. So that's one of the methods you can use to get a trial in Europe or anywhere else. Before this video ends, I want to share a tip with you that's been working really well for me lately and is also a great way to build your connections. And that is to reach out to mutuals, whether it be players or coaches. In these last couple of months, I've reached out to a couple players who I never met in person, but I knew of them through a social network or through somebody else. And by reaching out to them, they actually got me connected to an agent or to a team. So be resourceful. Look around you right now. Think about all the coaches. Think about all the players that you've either played with or that you may have through social media or you just know of them. They can all be an opportunity to expand your network and to connect with someone new. And you never know what that connection could lead to. We all currently have so many different resources around us, and we often leave so much on the table. So take a moment to think about the different players and coaches you have access to and reach out to them, because if you can expand your network, it will have a big positive impact on your career. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like. Comment down below any questions you have and I'll answer them. Keep training hard and I wish you all the best.